Hey peeps, welcome to another video. Today it is my March sewn lookbook. Get yourselves a hot chocolate, cup of tea, coffee, drink. It's going to be a long one. I made a lot of things. The first one that I'm going to talk about is the one that I'm wearing. It is the Deer and Doe Sirocco. This is actually iteration number 2. The first one that I made is this turquoise one. I'm going to do the same thing that I've been doing for the last couple of videos that I've made, that I'm going to do the twirls in them, but I'm going to stay in this for the entire time I talk to you because it's really hot up here and I don't want to keep getting in and out of clothes because that will take even longer to film this thing. So the first one that I made was with this teal Ponte Roma that I had in my stash. I don't know where this came from. I think it's from the textile centre. I know it's not from the fabric room because I have their teal one. This is a lighter, different colour. I really liked how this looked, but it wasn't what I was expecting when I made the Deer and Doe Sirocco. So you can see on screen I will have a still of me wearing this. So the trousers are a lot longer and fuller than I was expecting at the bottom. I was expecting them to be a lot more tapered, but having thought about it, the sizes that I made, it's not a surprise that they came out that way. And I lengthened the bodice on the teal one and it did fit me, but it did mean that I needed to add a press stud here because it wasn't under tension in the same way that the subsequent ones that I've made are. So I have added a press stud to the crossover and I have worn this jumpsuit. I don't think I'm going to keep it though because so I made this one. I really liked it. You guys went nuts for it. That vlog was amazing. I think I got like over 200 comments on that vlog for this one. It does look a little bit like a Star Trek Next Generation uniform. I could be Gates McFadden or Marina Sirtis. And that's not a bad thing. I love TNG, so yeah, I get where you're coming from. It did look a little bit like that. It was something that I wanted to make a wearable muslin though because I knew I couldn't get any more of this fabric, which was from the Goldhawk Road, and I bought the last of it whilst I was down there. I knew I couldn't get any more of this and I knew I wanted this to be a Sirocco and I knew I wanted it to be a success, so I was trialing this one out. I went back the next day because I loved how it turned out and I actually retraced the entire pattern. Right, let's see if I can get this right. I've done a 42 bust, I had done a 40 waist and a 44 hip on the turquoise one. So I went back and I did a 40 bust, a 38 waist and stuck with the 44 hips, but then I tapered the trousers down to the size 34 at the ankles so that they were tapered because I was like, if I'm gonna have tapered trousers, I want them to be tapered trousers. So I made this one up and this is what I had in my head when I was thinking about making the Deer and Doe Sirocco. This is exactly how I wanted it to look. I have added some depth to the crotch of this one, so I added, on my first one I added an inch and a bit front and back, which was too much. Then for this one that I'm wearing now I added, I think it was something like ½ an inch at the back and ¾ of an inch at the front. I still think I erred too much on the side of caution, so I think I'm going to leave the back as is because the back fits very well because I have a large derriere, and I'm going to take a little bit out of the front crotch depth just a smidge because one thing about wearing jumpsuits is you really don't want them to be too tight because that just makes them very uncomfortable. So I tended to err on the side of caution and give myself more room than turns out that I needed. But I love this one, absolutely love this one. I have worn this one out a couple of times already, and when I say out, I made this towards the beginning of the month when we weren't on lockdown, and we are now. I plan on wearing this out to go watch Wilson's band play at some point. I can see myself with heels on, a nice bag, hair up. I can see this as an evening outfit and it's very comfortable to wear during the day as well. Total secret pajamas. I love this thing, it's awesome. I love this so much that I then went on to order fabric from Lily and Mimi so that I could make 2 more. I went through the Deer and Doe Sirocco hashtag on Instagram and there was a very beautiful lady who had made one that looks just like this, and I was just like, that looks so chic on her, I am going to copy her. So I've got some French terry and cotton jersey from Lily and Mimi and I made it up. I made this during the second live hangout that I did. This one took me 5 hours and then this one took me like 2 hours in the same live stream. I was there for 8 hours in total. It was fun, it was good. Yeah, I made this one and it turns out it needed a side zipper, so I unpicked the side seam, put the side zipper in, and yeah, I don't like how it looks on me. I am a floral girl, totally. Yeah, this is not for me. I don't think this one's going to be staying in my wardrobe for very long, because out of all of them that I have 4 now. I think I'm going to donate the teal one because it's not what I wanted it to be, and I'm going to donate this one because it's just not my style. But the one that was a success was this one, which is Midnight Garden French Terry from Lily and Mimi, and I love this one as well. I have worn this one out. I had to go food shopping on Monday, so I had this on Monday, and it was very, very comfortable. Secret pajamas. It's a beautiful print. It's a really, really nice French terry, so I'm over the moon with this one and this one. These are staying. I think those other 2 are going to go, but yeah, I love this so much. My 5 and they are done rule will probably go out the window with the Sirocco, but I am in no rush to buy new fabrics to make them, because I am trying to work my way through my jersey or my stretch fabric stash, and I am so close. I think I've got 2/3 of it sewn up, not including the solid colours. Let's just ignore that one. But yeah, I can see myself making more of these in the future because I love it. I absolutely love it. So I have all of the things that I've made piled up beside me, so I'm just going to go from which one's next in the pile. So this was actually some leftover fabric that I had after making the Vogue 9357 dress. I had bought, I think, 4 yards of this stripe and then 5 yards of the all over lemon print from fabric.com. This is a Timeless Treasures print. They don't have any more of this. And after I'd made my dress, I ended up with a fairly large cut of this left. I think I had 3 meters of this left, just under. I knew I wanted to make a skirt, but I didn't want to do another gathered skirt, which is what you usually would do with a stripe like this. And I had seen a blog post on somebody who had panelled a circle skirt, because the smaller the panels, the more you can get the stripes to kind of look horizontal. Not completely, but yeah, better than if you just cut a circle skirt with 1 panel in it, because then the stripes would be going all over the place. I did try. I was really careful when I was cutting this out to make sure that each piece that I had was exactly the same, the stripes were in the same spot so that they would match up. And they match up on some of them, and then yeah, so like here, this little bit here matches perfectly, and then the rest of it does not. So I think it might have something to do with the angles, but I did cut this out really carefully with the idea of having all the stripes match up, and it didn't quite work. But I really like this because it's a 3/4 circle skirt. I didn't quite have enough to do a full circle skirt. Because of the fullness of it, I think I get away with the stripes not being perfect because of the way that the skirt falls. You can't really see where that matches up. And you know what, if anyone comes up to me and says, well, your stripes don't match, you'll be like, well, you're far too close. I really, really like this. And I am planning on, I've got a little bit of both of the fabrics left over, so I am planning on making a matching top this month. You will be seeing my April sewing plans hopefully tomorrow, and it is top month. That's all I want to make this month. All of the tops and one dress for the sew along. Next we have the McCall's 7319. Now I have made this pattern 3 times before, and none of them were a success, is because they didn't. So this is the pattern envelope, and it's the shorter version of the dress there with the very full skirt. That's what I wanted. There is only 1 skirt piece, and you just change the length of it, and the one that they've made up, that's what the skirt comes out looking like. It's nothing like that line drawing there. It's not that full. So I have made 3 of these dresses because I wanted it to be that line drawing. I have added fullness to all of the previous skirts, and they didn't work, and because they just still weren't quite full enough. So I went back and I added even more fullness to this skirt, and then I added seams to it as well so that I could cut it out of fabric. I have made this one out of this viscose jersey that I got from the textile centre, which was a crazy print. It had 2 lines of the blue orchids and then 3 lines of the leopard print. So it was a striped jersey. It was mental. It was one of those things where it was just, I saw it and I was like, ooh, I want that. And then I was like, what am I going to make with it? I'll make pyjamas with it. Pyjamas will be fine. Yeah. and I decided to risk it and try it out on this dress, and it is stunning. I love how this has turned out. I am so happy with this. I love the fullness that I've added to the skirt. To me, this now looks like the line drawing and the dress that I had in my head and imagined. Loads of you guys were just like, why are you persevering with this dress? It's not that amazing. The pattern's like meh, but the finished result, this is exactly what I wanted, and I love it. So much so that I went on to use my expensive fabrics. This is my Cobra Corsage viscose jersey. I can't remember where I got this one from. Loads of people sell the Cobra Corsage viscose jersey. I think I actually got these ones from Lamazi Fabrics because I have a couple of the Lady McElroy viscose jerseys, and they are going to turn into this dress as well because I like it that much. So for this one was wearable muslin fodder to check to see if I had done the things that I needed to make the dress of dreams. And I actually lengthened, there's an underbodice on this dress, and I lengthened that so that it would sit on my waist. And I've actually taken the length out for this one because I have used, we can find it, I have used a solid jersey for the underneath of this dress because I have made the skirt so wide, you actually need quite a considerable amount of fabric more to make this one. You can get this out of 3 meters of very wide fabric. I have some white viscose jersey with red roses all over it that I intend to turn into this dress as well, and that one is a very wide fabric, so if I cut the underbodice out of white jersey for that one, I will be able to get it out of the 3 meters of the fabric that I have. The Lady McElroy fabrics aren't quite that wide, so I had 3 meters of them originally. I ended up ordering an extra 2 meters of all the prints that I had so that I could definitely get this dress out of that fabric, and I'm really glad that I did because it is just absolutely beautiful. I really love this dress. There's going to be a foliage canopy, a savannah, and then, like I said, the white jersey with the red roses on it is going to be that dress as well. And then I'm at my 5 and done and moving on to another pattern, I promise. So one of the reasons I didn't mind having extra of the jersey is because I knew that I wanted to make t-shirts out of these Lady McElroy prints as well. So this is the Sew Over It cowl neck t-shirt. I've made a few of these now, and you'll have seen in a previous vlog that I've actually added a facing onto the cowl part because the original pattern would have you just hem this cowl, and I didn't like how that looked. So I've added a facing onto it, and now it's my t-shirt of dreams. I love this. I think it's awesome. I really like this print. I really like this print, and it's because it's got so many colours in it. It goes with so many things and so many of my cardigans. So yeah, I have a Sew Over It cowl neck tee in Cobra Corsage. I think I have enough left to colour block a t-shirt with the remnants that I have from the Cobra Corsage. I know I have enough of the savannah and the foliage canopy to make a t-shirt as well as that dress. I think they're probably going to become something different, like maybe a short sleeved gable top, maybe a wanted tee. But I mean, I do really like the Sew Over It cowl neck tee. I have 2 that have all over prints now. You guys know if I find something that I love, I tend to make all of them, and I kind of would like to experiment and try some different patterns for those t-shirts. And yeah, I think that's a good thing. And as I say, April is going to be top month, so fingers crossed I will get to those t-shirts this month, and we shall see what I end up going for. So the next pile that I have here is the Jennifer Lauren Gable t-shirts. This is some cotton jersey that was gifted to me. Somebody had ordered something from a UK seller and they didn't ship to the States, so they'd asked if I could have it shipped to me, and I'd said yes, and they happened to have bought me their parcel arrived and they bought some fabric for me as well, which was this beautiful little bumblebee jersey, cotton jersey. It's very cute. So I used this as my wearable muslin fodder for the Gable t-shirt because I was pretty confident that this t-shirt was going to fit me with no alterations. I didn't have to add any length to this thing. How awesome is that? I love it. I love it. And you guys have seen me wear this quite a lot this month. If you watch any of the daily waffles, I'm in love with my Gable t-shirts. This was number 1. Peacock jersey from Pin and Sew. This was a peacock jersey panel. It was 150 by 150 and had this dude on it, which I loved. And it goes from the smaller feathers down to the larger feathers at the bottom. So I've gone for a long sleeved gable to go for this one to take advantage of the print, and I just love how this has turned out. This is gorgeous. I'm so pleased with this one. I love it a lot. And again, if you watch the waffles, you'll have seen me wear it a lot this month. Then we have some, this is glow in the dark. The cat's eyes actually glow in the dark, which I love. I can't remember where I got this fabric from. I know, like So Amazing, I had some of it in stock, and it could possibly have been from her that I bought it. But I had enough to do the 3/4 length sleeve. Now technically this isn't supposed to be a finished sleeve length. There is an extra pattern piece that goes on the bottom so you can colour block them, but I just really like the 3/4 length sleeve, so I just hemmed it there, and that works really well. Really like this one. Have worn this one. Then we have some absolutely beautiful cotton jersey that was sent to me from Belgium by Julie. It was a present, oh, good couple of years ago now, and it's got birds all over it. So we've got pheasant front and centre, there are swans, there we go, there's a swan down the back there, there's another pheasant on the back. I had 1 metre of this fabric and I managed to fussy cut so that I had my pheasant right front and centre. I couldn't fussy cut the back, but I actually kind of like how the back has turned out as well. And this is beautiful. This is really beautiful. Again, I did the 3/4 sleeves. I've got swans on the bottom of that one, and I've got swans kind of on the top of that one. So yeah, I'm really pleased with this. I've been hoarding this jersey for ages because it is just so beautiful, and there was 1 metre of it and I just wasn't sure which t-shirt would be good for it. But I think that's one of the things about the Gable top, is that because it is just a really plain pattern, there's no darts or anything in it, and no, you know, funky necklines or anything like that, it really shows off the fabric really well. So love this. Have worn that. Next we have some really cute kitty fabric that was a gift from Lamazi Fabrics. I think when I bought my Cobra Corsage and Foliage Canopy viscose jersey, they included 1 metre of this kitty fabric as a thank you, which was incredibly nice of them. It's really cute, and I could have cut the 3/4 sleeves out of it, but I hadn't realised that at that point, so I'd cut the short sleeves because I was thinking I'm probably not going to like the short sleeves on the Gable top, but I will give it a try on this fabric, and I love it. I love the short sleeve Gable top, so there's definitely going to be some more of these made for the summer months, because this is just, I love this. And again, if you watch the Daily Waffles, you will have seen me wearing this a lot. The final Gable t-shirt I have is a very interesting black one. I have worn this a lot as well. This has got Gianna fluff all over it. Fun times. But this was an experiment. The pattern does call for a medium weight jersey, and this is the lightweight viscose jersey that I get from Minerva Crafts. They have it in many colours. I will list it down below. And I wanted to see how it turned out in a lighter weight drapey jersey, and I love it. I really love it. I think it's gorgeous. And again, this is a long sleeved one, but I really like the short sleeve one, so I can see myself making another black but with short sleeves, and then some of the other solid colours I have of this viscose jersey are going to get turned into this t-shirt. It's lovely. I like the neckline. I think it's really chic. It shows off necklaces really well, which is something that I have so many beautiful necklaces that I don't wear because I don't have the right necklines for them. This would be great for that. It's kind of a vintage style as well, so it works really well with my circle skirts and high-waisted trousers, so I love this. I have a few more t-shirts to show you. This next one I cut out at the same time as I cut out those Gable t-shirts. I was determined to use the rest of this fabric, so it's the rest of the pin and sew peacock panel that I had, and I didn't have enough to cut out the sleeves, and I didn't have enough to cut the front completely with the centre of the pattern, but I think the pattern's busy enough that you can't really tell that. So I added on black viscose jersey sleeves, and they look fabulous. I really like how this looks. I've worn this a couple of times. I love the wanted tee neckline. I think the neckline is beautiful. I really like square necklines on me. It kind of looks like I have a top on, and the black top on underneath, and I'm wearing a vest over the top. But I didn't want to try and work out how to finish the edges of this to make this an actual vest. There's a very small amount of fabric between the edge of the neckline and the sleeve, and I was just thinking putting bindings and things on that would be a bit more tricky than I wanted to try and work out. And also I didn't have any bits big enough to make sleeve kind of bindings for this out of this fabric, so I stuck on some black sleeves and I think it's worked really well, so I like this a lot. Then we have one of my most recent makes. This is the Megan Nielsen Variety. There's some tweaks that I need to make to this one. This is a wearable muslin. This is again that viscose jersey from Minerva Crafts. This is basically my skin tone, so it was wearable muslin fodder because I bought this. It's called Desert Sand, I think, this colour, and I bought it and it looked a bit richer on the website, but in real life, like I say, it is practically my skin tone, so it kind of looks like I'm naked when I'm wearing this. I wanted a drapey jersey for this pattern, and I thought it was a good idea to use one of the colours that I was less precious about, because I have 2 meters of most of the colours of this fabric, so it means I'm going to get probably about 2 tops out of each cut. This is good wearable muslin fodder colour, I think. So I need to take the shoulders in. The chest fits fine, but the shoulders are sitting probably about 1 inch down further than they should be. And the other thing is, it is meant to be a high-low hem, because, you know, if it wasn't, then I've really messed up the pattern here. But it's sitting just, I want to lengthen this front section only by about 1 inch. Having looked back at the footage of me wearing this the other day for kind of like the little try-on clip that I put in the Daily Waffles, I actually really do like how it looks at the back with that curve, because I was talking about taking kind of a bit more off so that it was cropped the whole way around. I'm thinking I might just take 1 inch out of the bottom. I might actually not take anything off it at all, because I've hemmed this with a very narrow hem because I knew this front was going to be way higher than I wanted it to be, so I've hemmed it with a narrow hem. But I'm thinking if I added the length that I want and then enough to make it a thicker hem, then at the back it probably would sit where I want it to. I really like this. I really like the neckline. I like the high-low nature of it. I like the cropped nature of it because, again, the majority of the things that I wear are high-waisted, so I like when crop tops kind of just hit just above the waist or on the waist, so that you can see I go in but they don't necessarily have to be tucked in. So yeah, very happy with that one. Next we have the Friday Pattern Company Adrian blouse. This is gorgeous. This fabric is a random fabric that I had picked up at the Knitting and Stitching show. It was a remnant that the textile centre had. I have no idea what it is. It feels shiny, if that makes sense. It's a very slinky fabric, although it pressed beautifully, so, because I did accuse it of being 100% polyester, but I'm not sure that it is, but time will tell. I mean, I have some to do a burn test with, so I could do that, but I'm not sure I'm that fast. I love this top. I think it's beautiful. I love the neckline. The sleeves are immense. I did follow the pattern guidelines for the sleeve elastic, and the sleeve elastic is too big. So when I make the next one, I'm going to make the sleeve elastic a little bit tighter so that I can pull the top up and wear it kind of around sort of just underneath my elbow, so it blouses out a little bit more. But yeah, this is awesome. I love this. It's really, really cool. The other thing that I'm going to change is I'm going to shave a tiny, like a ½ inch off the bottom edge of the front and back piece, because it is just sticking out just slightly over my hips rather than hugging my hips. So it looks a little bit odd, but I will wear this one tucked in to high-waisted jeans or trousers most of the time, so it's, you know, you'll never see it on this one, but I'm going to make that alteration on the pattern. But yeah, I really love this. I think it's gorgeous. Next we have another wearable muslin. This is the Hey June Sheridan sweater. This fabric is wearable muslin fodder. It is a very light knit that I got from the textile centre. It is itchy on the inside, so I knew I was making this not with the intention of keeping it, but I wanted to test out the pattern before I started using some of my more expensive fabrics on it. I love this. It has kind of bishop sleeves, and then it is very blouson on above the tight waistband, so it looks really, really cool. This is definitely my kind of jumper. It's got a very low neckline. The pattern itself actually does come with 2 necklines, and I've only traced one, and I think I might go back and trace the other sort of funnel neck with a facing, because for winter that might be cool. But this is going to be a great layering piece for when the colder months, because you could wear like a roll neck or a turtleneck underneath this and it would look really cool. I really, really like this. This one, as I say, is going to get donated, but I will be making more of these. We're nearly there. I've only got 4 dresses left to show you. These are all sew along dresses. First one is the Butterick 5209, and I have done a sew along for this, and I've done a separate pattern review for this pattern as well, so I'm not going to go into this in great detail other than to say I love it. It has a side zip and I love it. The side zip though goes right up to, and I talked about this on the review, but I didn't want to unzip it and then flash my bra at you all, but the side zip goes, there isn't a tiny little bit of fabric underneath the arm holding it together, so I don't hate this side zip because as you guys know, I really don't like them, but this one I kind of live with because it does what I need it to do. So yeah, I genuinely love this dress. I think it's beautiful. I love the bodice. It's very reminiscent of Trashy Diva bodices, which is something that I really like. Trashy Diva dresses are gorgeous. I used to have a giant collection, but I don't anymore because they were just too short in the torso for me. I have a very long torso, as you guys know. I talk about that all the time. So the fact that I could make something for myself that looked like a Trashy Diva dress, but that wasn't, and that fit me well, was awesome. And I really enjoyed doing the sew along for this one. I can see myself using this bodice with lots of different skirts, but this is the skirt as comes with the pattern. It is basically a shaped rectangle, but a rectangle skirt gathered in at the waist, but I can definitely see myself making this bodice with circle skirts on the bottom of it as well, and perhaps even panelled skirts as well. I think that would look really cool. So yes, 5209, love it. Next we have the McCall's 7892. It has zero hanger appeal. This is a full wrap dress. I have made it into a full wrap dress by leaving the side open here so that you can pass the ties through. The pattern would actually have you put hooks and eyes on the front waistband to close it and then have a decorative tie. I don't like wrap dresses that do that, so I always tend to turn anything that has those kind of closures into a full wrap item. I've done that for a shirt sew along that I've done, the New Look 6050 I think it is, and I've done it for this one. I've done it for the Butterick 6554, so I prefer my wrap dresses to have ties that wrap all the way around my waist. Just a personal preference of mine. This has got ruffles on it. It's got the most immense ruffles on it, and I managed to get the ruffles cut out so that they are double-sided, which is a preference of mine. I much prefer how this looks than you being able to see the raw edge of the wrong side of the ruffle fabric. It also adds a nice amount of weight to the dress, which helps kind of make it more fluffy and ruffly as well, which I like. Again, this is a sew along dress. I have done a pattern review for this one as well. The sew alongs will all be coming out over the next sort of month or so. The only thing that I would change about this dress is the tops of the sleeves are very narrow and quite restrictive, and this is the kind of dress that I would want to go dancing in, and I can only get my arms to about here comfortably. So I am going to change the sleeves on this. I actually think I can redraft these sleeves to work better, or I'm going to take the sleeves from the 7537 and smoosh those on to this pattern, because I do think I'll make this again. I like this one. And then the final one I have two of. This is the Vogue 9357. These are very different dresses. Loud and in your face, subtle and understated. I made two of them because I changed quite a lot about this one, and I was filming the sew along for this one as per the pattern, and when I came to edit it, having looked at the changes that I'd made, it didn't quite make sense, so I went back and made this one so that I could show you guys, oh that's the back, so that I could show you guys exactly how I implemented the changes that I made to this one when I was sewing this one up. So yeah, I love this dress. It's not very fabric hungry. I mean, I changed this. It's meant to be an unlined dress. I have fully lined the bodice. The pockets are meant to be unlined, but again, I prefer because these pockets do kind of stand open, and I'd prefer to be able to see fabric rather than that, because I think that is a bit more distracting. So I have lined my pockets, which you can't really tell there, but I have. For this one I added trim down the front as well, which is the first time I've used this kind of trim on anything, and I really like how it looked. And that was to disguise the fact that the chevrons were perfect, the stripes were, but these lemons did not chevron well, and there was no way of me being able to chevron them well. It wasn't a case of I just cut it wrong, it was a case of that was never going to work. So this trim down the front, hides that front seam, and it hides the fact that it was quite jarring there, but it also hides my other perfect chevroning, but it's okay. I like this a lot. This, like I say, it doesn't take a lot of fabric. I got this, let's see, I got this one fully lined, pockets and bodice, fully lined out of 3.3 meters of fabric with a fair decent amount spare left over, which is, this bodes really well because I have a lot of quilting cottons in my stash that are 2.8 meters or 3 yards long, because I used to make much shorter dresses with big full skirts which I could get out of 3 yards, and the longer dresses that I prefer now I couldn't until I found this one, because this one has a beautiful full skirt, but it's not a ridiculously large skirt, so it still has the volume and the drama that I like, but without masses and masses of fabric in it. So the shorter yards, or the shorter cuts of quilting cottons that I've got in my stash, are earmarked for this type of dress now. I mean, even if I make different bodices, the skirt on this is definitely going to be made a lot. I like it a lot, and I love the pockets. Love, love, love the pockets. So yeah, I'm really, really pleased with these. This one, I don't think you can tell, but this one does, oh there you go, you can see it there. It is a stripe, so it has got chevrons and they meet perfectly. And I'll show you a tip of how to get your chevrons, or get your stripes to chevron like this, to make sure that they will meet perfectly when you come to sew it up. And then obviously we've got the stripes going horizontally along there, and yeah, I just really like it. I like both of these. They are going to be great for travelling because of the giant pockets. Cotton dresses, great to wear in the sort of warmer months, so yay! Yay for dresses. So I told you it was going to be a long one. I made a lot of things. A lot of things. As you can probably tell, I'm happy with the majority of them. I think the only one that was a proper fail was the nautical Sirocco. It's just not my style. It looked so fabulous on the lady that I saw it on Instagram that I was just like, oh yeah, I could do that. And I can't. Which is fine, which is totally fine. The floral ones suit me so much better and I feel so much more comfortable in them. I am going to leave the nautical one in my wardrobe for a while, but I very much doubt it will be something that I think of reaching for when I'm getting dressed, especially when I know I've got this one and the other floral one, so yeah. The turquoise Sirocco as well, that was following the pattern guidelines for the finished measurements for the garment, and needing to do that so that I could work out how I wanted it to look on me, and I'm much happier with this one and the other floral one that I've made. Yeah, I don't think there's another fail. Like, not that they were fails, they just, it's the same thing. It's one of those things, isn't it, that you have all these ideas in your head. Because we make our ideas, we can't try them on before we finish them, so you have to make the thing to then see if you like the thing. The majority of the time it works, just sometimes it doesn't, and it's one of those things. So yeah, I'm very happy with everything that I've made this month. It was a lot. I mean, I haven't seen Wilson for a month now. I haven't been to London for a month for obvious reasons. It's totally fine, I'm not complaining. I have had way more time to sew. I did 2 live hangouts last month, and I'm planning on doing more hangouts this month. I have another one coming up on Sunday. It's going to be later on in the day, because so that the American peeps can come and hang out with us, because I've done the last couple have been quite early starts. It's been fun. It's been a fun month. It's been a stressful month for many reasons, but it has been a fun month as well, so I cannot complain. March was productive, so that was good. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed having a look at all the things I've made. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, and I will see you again very soon. Bye!